Hi everyone, it's Dina, and this is Badass Pub, and where we talk about publishing and the publishing industry, traditional and indie. And I am joined this week by my co-host Tiffany with Beyond Deaf. Say hello.
Hello.
And Kelly Kazone. Say hello.
Hello.
And Terry, I don't know how to say your last name, but I'm just going to say she's just another book bitch.
It's Arison, and hello.
So, okay, one thing, because I don't know how long we're going to have Tiffany or Terry for, but I want to talk about PAs, because there's so much shit that authors have to do in terms of, like, their social media and just everyday shit. I need a PA. But, so, what...
I need a PA. I'm not an author. Come on now.
Right? Not just... everyone needs a PA. So, what are some of the things that an author or a blogger or whatever should expect from a PA? What can y'all do?
I think bare minimum is social media, knowing your Google, because I do the tours and stuff as well. So know how to create your Google Docs, your forms, you know what I mean, to be able to send out to bloggers and stuff.
Right.
And since most all bloggers use Google, to be able to do all that, you just kind of, it's basic knowledge of Google and stuff like that. And social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. It's always handy if you know how to do graphics. I know that one of my girls, her boyfriend actually does covers and things like that. So he does a lot of her graphics and her book covers. She is awesome at her graphics, so she does most of hers. I do some of them. And then Kirsty is horrible at her graphics, so I do most of hers. The publisher's working on graphics this time, but for right now, but for the most part, I do all hers. But just basic knowledge, I think. You know what I mean? Like, just to be able to play with it and learn as you go.
And just be willing to jump in and help out.
Exactly.
Because I know that so many authors, they spend so much time doing their social media and their promotion that, they're like, I got into this because I love to write, and now I can't write because I'm spending hours upon hours.
Just trying to stay visual, yeah. Because if you're not on social media and at least keep your page active, then you disappear off of people's feeds, and then of course you out of sight, out of mind,
And it's hard enough to show up on people's feeds anyway.
Exactly. You got to fight the powers
Especially
that be
with
with
the
that.
new algorithm on Pages.
What's that?
Especially with the new algorithm on Pages.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Facebook just needs to get rid of Pages because no, it does no fucking good. 5,000 people can like your damn page and like 5 see your post.
Right.
So, and well, now Kelly, you've got a different thing because you have one of your PAs goes with you to all of your in-person signings, right?
Yeah, I actually have several. I actually have 3 PAs. One of them travels with me. She makes sure my table is set up the way it's supposed to be. She makes sure I'm where I'm supposed to be if I'm doing panels or what have you. She makes sure I eat because I forget. But she entertains me because I get bored very easily. And so I have a tendency to wander when I get bored. And so she's there to say, get back to your table. No, you can't walk off right now. Sit down and shut up, And she does little things to entertain me. So, yeah, but mainly she keeps me organized. She puts my table up and takes it down better and faster than I do. So, yeah, I couldn't do it without her.
Well, and then, what is the going rate to pay a PA? I mean, are you paying per job? Do you pay per hour?
Well, with the one that travels with me, I pay all of her travel expenses. So it doesn't matter where we're going. I pay. She doesn't pay for anything. I foot the bill for everything, including I buy her the whatever souvenirs they have at the shows, whether it's bags or T-shirts or what have you. You know, I buy her one of everything so that she has something to take back for it. Then she spends about 2 or 3 hours a week. She comes to the house and she handles if I'm shipping out books to, you know, books that have been purchased through my website or what have you. She makes sure that they're all packaged up. She takes them to the mailbox for me, and I pay her a flat rate of about $30 a week to do that.
And it's probably what, about 5 hours worth of work a week, maybe?
Yeah, probably. Some weeks it's more, some weeks it's less. But she also doesn't, you know, she doesn't pay for any of my books or my swag or anything like that. I give that all to her as a perk. So.
And what about you, Terry? How do you charge? Do you charge hourly, you know, a monthly retainer?
I charge monthly. Yeah, I charge monthly. And because, I mean, honestly, for the most part, I'm always on. I'm always checking messages. I'm always, you know, watching the feeds and things like that. The girls, and see, 2 of the girls that I work for are in the UK, and 1 is in Ireland. And so, I mean, first thing in the morning, I'm going through checking my messages to see what they need or whatever, you know, because the time difference is kind of a pain in the ass. So
6 hours, baby. 6 hours.
So, oh yeah, it's a pain in the ass because by the, you know, they've got half their day gone, you know,
right,
where they've thought of things that they need to do, and I'm just now getting up. So, so I charge monthly, and that seems to work well for us.
right. Well, I don't know, because Allison, and she's supposed to be on the show, but, you know,
She messaged me. She said 10 minutes.
I was going to say she's passed out in some bush somewhere. But that's just me. Sorry. I was projecting. But she was the one that brought it, you know, she's like, you know, I need a PA. What do I do? And I was like, I don't know. You know, ask the bitches.
But I think it also has to do with what that person needs them to do, because since all 3 of my girls are overseas, they mail out their books and their swag to any of the winners that are over there, and then they ship from CreateSpace directly to me, and I put in book plates, and then they send me swag. So anybody that's here in the United States, I send to.
Right.
Just different things for convenience-wise, you know. Mm-hmm. So I think it just depends on each author, because, like I said, one girl, for Kerr and Kirsty, I create their newsletters, the things that go out to their bloggers, things like that. But Hannah, she likes to make hers, so she goes into Google and she creates, you know, what she wants to say, but then I transfer it and I actually make the newsletter, you know. Right. But I think it's per author, you know. Each author kind of needs their own thing. I think basic knowledge of Facebook and stuff like that. Then after that, it's kind of, you know, what do you need? What do you need? And then you know, just pick up the slack.
Right. Well, that's like, you know, me as, you know, as ebook builders, you know, I'm not really in the book groups so much. But as me as an author, I'm not in any book groups. So I have no idea what the hell would be expected. I don't know how to post that shit. And frankly, I don't want to know how to post that shit.
I don't generally post in groups because to me it's redundant. There's a lot of the same people in the same groups, and you're just wasting your time. I focus more on advertising and just basic promotion, and then rather than post in groups.
I have to agree. I think most of the time, most of those groups that are free posting, it's worthless. You can scroll through it and see that there's 0 posts that have a like or a comment or anything like that, you know? It's
right.
groups
yeah.
it's the groups that have admins that have to approve a post or whatever. Those are the ones that keep the groups active, because it's not free posting and it's not basically spamming the group. And having them run a giveaway or having them talk about the book and post about your sale, especially if they've read it, because most of them are bloggers anyway. So
Right.
it's just a matter of having them discuss it, and then you can kind of jump in there. And the groups, most of the people that are in the group, they have their notifications or their friends in that group, so they'll see when they post it. They won't see it if I post it. You know what I mean? Because we're not friends necessarily.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, most people don't have it set to where they get all the notifications, or else they're just getting, their fucking phones going bing, 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 fucking Christ.
Exactly.
I want to get out of the
Well, yeah,
damn
you
group
get
that I'm in.
you get inundated with notifications, especially like I'm members of probably 200 groups that I don't post in, simply because I did that years ago before I realized that's not important, and I would
It's
be
a better use
inundated.
of my time.
Yeah, and you get inundated when one person will post the same shit in 50 different groups. Well, when you're a member of all of them, by the time you've seen it 2 or 3 times, you're like, at this point, I really don't care about your book anymore.
Right.
I'm tired of seeing it.
Right.
And I think you get that a lot on Facebook. People post in every single group.
And it's the same thing
everywhere.
It's spam, and you just keep scrolling.
Yeah, you get to the point where, to me, if they have a good graphic and they post it on their timeline and it comes across my news feed, I am more apt to look at it, read it, and share it than if it's a spammed post.
Well, that's like in the bitches group. That's why I said right from the very start, you're not going to post your book link shit in here. This is not a promotion site. Now, if you have a book link and you need help sharing it, then that's
Right.
what this group is. This is, we help each other. And, but fuck, I don't want to see, and that's like my biggest pet peeve. Don't come and put your fucking links on my Facebook page. Don't put it on my timeline. Because if I could, I'd track you down and I'd punch you in the fucking throat.
Oh, there was a day, I shit you not, within 2 minutes of me posting a rant about people like sending me a friend request and then immediately posting on my wall, this bitch sends me a friend request, posts on my wall, is like, oh my god, it's so nice to meet you. I'm like, bitch, we haven't met. Like, you just sent me a fucking friend request and now you want to post shit on my wall. No. Boom. Deleted. Later. And I even, like, copy and pasted that whole rant into her post.
Yeah.
Well, it's gotten to where I even hate it when someone posts on my wall, and so nice, thanks for connecting. Fucker, you sent me the friend request.
Yeah, well, it's like,
now Facebook does that stupid shit. You just became friends with so-and-so. Why don't you post on their wall? Why don't you fuck off? That's why people are getting irritated with Facebook.
Yeah, because not only did you get their friends request, then you get a freaking message from Facebook saying you're friends with this person. Well, gee, thanks. I didn't know I just hit accept on that friend request.
Right.
I'm an idiot.
And
I hate it.
posting book links on someone's personal timeline. Don't
I
even
just changed my settings on my timeline. No one can post shit on my timeline.
Well, I approve it. I have to approve it.
I have to have approval.
That's if they tag me, but before anyone could post on my timeline. Now nobody can. Period. Like, nobody can share anything to my timeline. Now you can tag me and I can go on and approve it.
Yeah, that's what mine is. You're not going to post me fucking shit on my timeline. Because
See,
this
I
is
haven't done
my
that yet.
real estate.
I haven't done that, but I have way too much fun telling people what assholes they are. So.
Oh, Dina's great at it.
You want to be an asshole? Post on my timeline. I'm going to show you asshole.
No, I'm an asshole to the people who's like, I love you. And I'm like, fuck off. Oh, but you are so beautiful. Oh, but really, fuck off. Oh, but we could be so happy. So then I send a screenshot of fuck off and then fuck off in Farsi. And what language do you need to see it in, motherfucker? Fuck off. Tiffany, you're mute.
Well, I get that. Well, I'll accept a friend's request, and the next thing you know, I've got this great big long, oh my God, you're so beautiful. I've looked at your timeline. I've looked at and I'm like, if you looked at my timeline, dumbass, you didn't see I'm married?
Right.
I'm not in the market, or I get a dick pic. Really? I didn't want to look at your face. I certainly don't want to look at your dick.
Thank God. I'm so glad I don't get those.
Oh my God, I get at least one or two a week.
No, now I did have someone friend request me, and I accepted him because he was on Dina's
list. Don't be blaming me for you.
And I'm like, all right, she's already vetted him out, and the dude was from Dubai. Should have been my first fucking clue. And within 20 seconds of accepting his friend request, I had a photo of a ring, a photo of roses, and the dude tried to call me through Messenger.
Yeah.
People are free.
It's crazy. I tell at least one person a week, Facebook is not a dating site. If I'm interested in dating you, I'll have to ask my husband first.
I mean, we should not have to keep reiterating the fact that Facebook is not plenty of dicks. I mean, plenty of fish.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane.
I mean, I'm not on Facebook to find a man. Wouldn't know what to do with him if I found him. So, charge extra.
I just started forwarding all of them to my husband, so now it's like I get that, hey, oh my God, you're so beautiful. I think we'd be happy together. And I'm like, hang on a second. And then I just forward it to Michael, and he's like, why? Why do you send this shit to me?
Right?
I'm like, well,
Okay.
Thought maybe you want to know your wife was hot.
No, my favorite response when I was married was going out to the bar with the ring on and someone trying to hit on me and be like, can I have your number? Well, I'll give you my husband's number and you can ask him.
Ask him, yeah.
Have fun with that
one. So, one thing about PAs. Do your PAs send out your ARCs? See, I'm trying to get us back on track, motherfucker. Normally, I'm the one off the rails. And
no, nobody sends my ARCs but me. I'm very particular.
And I have all the girls' books.
Mm-mm.
And you do what?
I have all the girls' books. So I have all the girls' books, so I send all of them out. The only thing I won't be doing is Kirsty's next release because the publisher's using NetGalley, and I'll only send it to a few people because we'll be doing NetGalley and then the paper ARCs. But usually I do all of them because I have their EPUBs and their Kindles, but I hate sending out the EPUBs, so I try not to send those out. I try to vet as much as possible with those just because, anybody can use them.
Right.
So I really, unless they're just like, no, I trust them, go ahead, I hate sending those out. So usually I'm like, you don't have a Kindle? Why don't you get the app?
Yeah,
Use the app on your phone, and then I'll send it to you. Like I try to talk them into Kindle so that because I don't want to send anybody an EPUB.
I had one blogger that just kept insisting that I send her Word doc, and I was like, no, give me a Kindle address.
Oh hell no.
I was like, give me a Kindle address. Well, Word doc, hell no. Why would I send you a Word doc? You're out of your mind.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So, well, that's one thing that I noticed that's different because working for the publisher, we're getting a room built specifically for the ARC printer, and it's like 30 feet fucking long. I mean, it's this huge fucking printer to print out ARCs. So an ARC like this, 6x9 ARC, instead of it costing $4 to print it, without the barcode and everything, print our own, and it'll be, like $1.50. And when you're doing a, 500 print run of these ARCs, then we just print it out and then we take it to a binder, and so the cost will be significant. But most indies send ebooks. 99.9% of them send a Mobi file.
Yeah, because you can't. I mean, No, I'm not going to pay the money to have a
to,
paperback
to
done.
print them out and then to turn around and send them. And that's like figure $10 a fucking book to
Yeah.
send it out. And when you have 10 bloggers and that's $100, and you can't be sure that you're going to get 10 fucking reviews.
And that's my thing. I'm not going to put the expense in when I know the return rate may only be 2%.
Right.
Because most bloggers, they try, but even they can't really guarantee it because you never know who's going to flake on you.
Exactly.
And I just don't think, and I think a lot of authors need to understand that and not blame the blogger. It's not the blogger's
A lot
fault.
of authors need to understand that bloggers have lives too.
Right.
It comes up, last minute emergency stuff like that. So, not every blogger who doesn't turn in a review for you stole a book from you.
Right. And I don't think necessarily that any blogger intentionally steals a book. I think shit just comes up. Or they didn't like the book and it's easier to just not write a review, and that's okay. And if I can't do my job on everybody else's timeline, and I doubt very seriously anybody else can, and people need to realize that goes for bloggers too.
Right.
Yeah, most bloggers, they're doing it in their free time. They're not getting paid. So suck it up and be happy with whatever the fuck you get.
Well, and that's why I do the Kindle copies. That way, if I send out 20 Kindle ARCs and I get half that in reviews, that's great. But if I get one review, I'm happy. I don't look at the other ones and go, well, why didn't you review my book? I look at what I get instead of what I don't, because otherwise, you'd be miserable, and then you start causing problems, and it's drama. And no, be happy with what you get.
Well, I don't know. I think there's a lot of bloggers now that people are just starting a blog just so they can get an ARC. And it's not a real blog, and it's not. Some of those big tour companies, they stopped checking on who was posting. We gave you a book and we expect a review. Yes, things come up. Yes, life happens. But okay, if you can't do it now, I just need you to tell me when you can do it. Are you going to have it within this month? If shit's hit the fan, next month's fine too, Yeah. But they still have to be held accountable because that is your book and you're giving it away instead of them purchasing it if they really wanted to read it,
Right.
And so I still go through, even like Hannah wanted to use a big tour company, and she did. And I still had to go through because they don't check. And I still went through and checked all the blogs that received an ARC and just said, hey, when's your, and I wasn't bitchy about it, but they still have to be held accountable because a lot of them are, again, signing up and trying to start a blog, and it's not really a blog. They just want a book,
Right.
Right. Well, and,
But I think that also comes back to the author's responsibility, too. If you're going to give a blog your ARC, you ought to at least know who you're giving it to.
True. But then again, it's like Terry said, there's you can't keep track of blogs anymore.
Mm-mm.
You really can't. There are so many of them. And now if you have that blogger who this is their third book and they have yet to turn in a review and they're still asking you for ARCs, that's where I draw the line. Like if you are a habitual person who says, I had one blogger who I swear every single time a review was due, her cat died.
You're like, look, how many fucking cats do you have? Do you qualify as crazy cat lady?
Exactly. I was just like, okay, well, your cat died 3 months ago. Oh, this is another one. Oh, okay. Well, that cat died.
Bitch, how many pussies do you have? So,
obviously a lot.
Right?
Okay, well, I'm not going to say nothing.
Well, I create the forms for the ARCs, and I go through and I check. And if you're a brand new blog and you don't post but every 2 or 3 weeks with 1 or 2 things, most likely you're not getting an ARC unless I've seen that you're reviewing and you're actually doing something. Then you're not getting anything because you signed up just because you want a free book. You're not a real a real blogger.
Even before I got insanely busy with, Badass Book Society and ebook builders and John Hardy publishers and then my writing shit, I have signed up for 1 review blog tour. And it was Anne Conley. and it was before I ever took her on as a client. And she is the only one I've ever signed up to read and review their book as part of a tour. Because I don't like to do, here, I'll give you a book, you write a review. I don't like that. For me personally. Because I don't like feeling like I have to read it and I have to do a review. What I buy, I do write a review for, or I used to.
See, anymore, I barely have time to breathe, let alone read. I couldn't tell you the last book I read. I try, and I owe so many reviews that when I do finally find the time to sit down and write them, I'll probably write 30 reviews in one day because I just don't have time.
Right.
But I also work full time. So, I work 50 hours a week outside of the house, and then I probably work another 40, 50 hours at home.
Well, see, honestly, I want your husband to write my review.
He probably would because, yeah, he
Well,
does.
because I sent Kelly I sent you the Word document, right?
Yeah.
Mine when you were going to beta read it, and she was printing it out, and her husband went and grabbed a page and goes, "Holy shit, when did you write this?"
And I had to say, relax, babe, that's not mine. I'm beta reading because I was taking it with me. I was getting ready to leave to go. I think it was Babbitt that I went to, and I had it with me because I was reading in the car, and then I was reading at Jennifer's that night, and yeah, so I was printing it out to take it with me, and he was just like, holy shit, I didn't know you could write like that. I'm like, I can't, that's not mine.
You're like, that damn Dina Ray, she got a filthy mouth.
Yeah, he was like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, don't get excited, babe. That's not me.
You ain't getting anything special tonight, motherfucker.
None of that coming your way, so give it up.
So, well, and Silver Fox asked me specifically to bring it up because, the industry reviewers, like Tower Sniper, is fixing to get reviewed by the Houston Chronicle, which that's
big.
That's big shit. And they're also going to review, the Austin Statesman is also going to be doing a review, which, these are big newspapers. It's not like it's a blog.
Right.
So, he said, inevitably, he'll send out his arcs, and he'll have that one person who says, there's typos in this, and, there's this error, and he's like, it's an arc. It's not the finished product. It's the advanced reviewer copy. You're still going to find little things. And I think that indies are so used to having their arcs are completely finished. They're ready to be published. They are as perfect. You might find one or two, knock wood, if you're lucky, one or two little minor things. You're not going to, missing commas and shit all the way throughout. But I think that's one of the main differences between indie arcs and traditional arcs, or indie reviewers and traditional reviewers, is there's a different expectation of what the finished product should be.
Well, I think indies are held to a higher expectation because we're indies. And, when we send something out, if it's not perfect, you're going to get slammed.
As you can get it.
Yeah, because if not, you're going to get slammed. And I just don't think that traditional published authors have that same problem. It's like people expect the advanced copies to not be perfect. And so we're held to a higher standard than
that. They expect the advanced copies to be perfect and to be ready to go. And they pretty much expect the advanced copy to even be the what's going to be live 2 months from
Yeah.
now.
They expect it to be the finished, polished version
But
of it.
a lot of it is arcs for traditional publishing. They go out like 3 to 6 months before the actual book's released. So you're still going through, a couple of rounds of editing, proofing. So, that's why they're sending them out, and so that the main reviewers are used to, the
Right.
issues. And we lost Terry.
Yeah, she's gone.
So, and there she is.
Oh, there she is.
And
I'm back.
yeah. And so I think that's some of it. But it could be worse. You could be getting galleys.
Yeah.
Which if you don't know, bound galleys is, it doesn't even have any of the formatting. You're lucky if you get black and white pictures on the interior. And it's got a plain, maybe off-white cover and with the title on it. That's what a bound galley is. So, but I think that's one thing. And I said we pause because I got to pee.
Hurry up, Dina.
All right. Or y'all can keep talking, and I'll just edit that little part of me out, and we'll be back.
We'll go pee.
Or are you going to keep talking?
Just go.
Hold on.
Or we'll talk about you peeing.
We always end up talking about me peeing and not having sex.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
And just so you know, I edit this fucker, so I'm going to hear y'all talk about me.
Jesus. Terry,
I'm
what
waiting to see if we can actually hear her tinkle.
No,
bet
you
we
won't hear her. She goes in the house.
What was
Well,
that, Tiffany?
What authors do you work for?
Kirsty Mosley, Kerr Duquet, and Hannah Peach.
Okay. You were saying Kirsty, and I didn't know which Kirsty it was.
Kirsty Mosley. She wrote The Boy Who Sneaks in My Bedroom Window, and
Nice.
that was her really, really big one that everybody loved.
I love that
Nothing Left to
title.
Lose. Yeah, she wrote a bunch of them. She's one of the big breakouts from Wattpad. So like the one that's publishing in September, it had over 6 million reads on Wattpad.
Holy
And
shit.
she pulled it. It's re-edited. It's got new material. That one actually took longer because of going back and forth with the publisher. And the second one's already done. That'll be out in December. But that was one of her big ones. But actually, The Boy Who Sneaks in My Bedroom Window, I don't know how many readers that one had. But again, that one was huge. And she decided after it'd been on there for a while, she self-published it. And then it was picked up. Her agent is amazing. So that one got picked up, and then several of her other ones did as well. So she's published in Poland and Italy and, all these crazy places.
That's crazy. I was going to ask you something, and it was just on the tip of my tongue as you were saying that, and now I can't even remember it. Oh, on the Wattpad. Are you familiar with Wattpad?
I'm not. I have it, but I don't really. I mean, I push it only because, like, Kerr put some of her stories on there and just the beginnings, so you can start reading it. If you like it, go out and buy it, kind of thing.
Right.
But for the most part, not really.
Okay.
I get a lot of followers because Kirsty follows me, and then her followers see that, so then they follow me.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm never on here, people.
Well,
The only
I used to read short stories on Wattpad a couple years ago, and I stopped using it. But I have an author who is considering releasing the first few chapters of her book on Wattpad. And I guess is it like kind of like the same thing? Does it work as social media when you say you have followers?
I don't think so. I think it's so overly saturated, not to mention there's so many people that are in a lot of other countries that are just copying the story over and putting their name on it. I think if she wants to release part of her story, she might as well do it on her website or in her newsletter and draw in readers that way. and draw in activity towards herself rather than to a third party. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because the Wattpad there's just so many. I mean, there's just millions of people on there, and they're all adding their stories. And again, there's tons of people on there that all they do is take the story, change. I mean, Kirsty's books, they've done it to hers. When I find stuff, I just send her the link so she can send it to her publicist, and they handle all the pirate shit, you know. But I would say she would be better.
Prevalent on there?
Do what?
So you're saying pirating is pretty prevalent on Wattpad?
Oh yes. Oh yes. There you can go on there and find 5 different versions of the Hunger Game, and they're all written by 5 different people.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, and then they go on there and again, they just pull off the stories and then maybe change the names. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they leave it word for word and they just throw their name on it.
That's crazy.
So,
oh look, Allison's here. Yeah, we'll see.
To me, it's a lot better.
Is her release is? I mean, we're planning on it being a pretty big book. So it kind of scares me, especially it being the first book like this that she's ever written. I'd hate for her to have it pirated.
Then maybe build her newsletter by giving out chapters of the book, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that if they are, if they're subscribing to the newsletter, then they're going to get chapter by chapter maybe. In fact, Kendall did it. Kendall Gray did it, and she did, was it Ghost something? It was like a dystopian something.
Yeah.
And it was I don't know if it was every week or every couple of weeks or something like that. She released a chapter.
It was every week that we got a chapter because I'm on her newsletter. I think so.
And then she released it afterwards on all the ebook sites,
and she froze
pretty well with it, keeping it to herself, you know.
So well, you froze up. So after she sent it out a chapter at a time, then she released it to all of the sites. Is that what you said?
Yes. I wasn't sure if you were saying I froze or.
Yeah,
she
you did freeze.
Chapter by chapter.
But so after she did it chapter by chapter and then released it to all the outlets, how did it do in sales?
I think she still did pretty good with it, and it was something that she knew people had already read it, but they still kind of wanted it, you know. And there were still people.
The whole thing.
There were still people out there that were her fans that were buying it because they loved it and they wanted it in a paperback, you know.
Right.
But it grew her newsletter because people were like, oh, it's a free read. I'll go ahead and and join the newsletter.
Right.
So.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that information because that helps. Because I'm not familiar with Wattpad, and just hearing that just makes me nervous as hell.
Yeah, I would put, if anything, you can put a couple of chapters, just because you don't know how many you're going to reach there. But besides a couple of chapters, I wouldn't put the whole, I wouldn't put the whole book.
No, she's wanting to put like the first third, and I don't think that she should put the first third on there.
Well,
maybe the first chapter or so.
Yeah, well, the first 10% is available on Amazon and everyone else anyway.
Right.
So I would only do like the first 10%.
Right.
Because I've actually thought about doing that for mine, as long as I can get that first sex scene in there. Because I think my first sex scene is going to get people hooked.
Dude, I thought it took you like 40,000 words before you could even get them in bed together.
No, it took me 7 chapters.
Well, fuck.
Yeah, but then she followed it with a 3,000-word blowjob, so...
And then immediately after finishing writing, she wiped her chin or whatever I did. Then you hear this. My mom peeks her head in. Hey, you want milkshakes? And I'm like, really? I just finished a fucking blowjob and a blowjob scene, not a blowjob.
I'm sorry, I still don't know how the hell you did a 3,000-word blowjob, but mine's like 4 freaking words.
She put it in her mouth. I could do it in 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
You got to go the swirly swirly with the tongue, and you got to, motorcycle with your hands, and the fingers
No.
creeping and crawling places where you really don't expect them.
Down. Thank you.
No, we're talking lockjaw at that point. Not gonna happen.
Well, some of us have more experience than others.
Oh my God. All right, enough of the blowjobs. Somebody's getting ideas.
I'm not coming to visit.
I just need to meet Dina.
You met me. We stood outside and talked in Austin.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I just need to meet you on a social engagement.
No. I have embraced the celibate life. Now I just write about it.
Oh, man.
Not that it's a happy embracer.
That's why she writes it so well, because she's got so much pent up tension going on.
What a tease.
Oh, well, we're gonna move along.
I'm just gonna eat my pizza. I'm actually drinking with y'all tonight. See,
You know what?
Tiffany?
I'm not
I told
drinking.
you. Oh, wow. See, Tiffany, I told you I would be drinking tonight. There
Is
you
that
go.
Snapple?
It is.
Holy shit! Snapple has alcohol, huh?
It is a limited edition, and it is fucking delicious.
That's awesome.
And after the week I fucking had, yeah. Totally neat. Did you actually see what happened to me tonight? I went after the friggin' day I had. I went out with my trainer for a nice relaxing hike with the dog. I get back 5. I hadn't even walked in the house, and my kids and my husband are walking out and going, "Good, you're here. Let's go for a walk." I walked over 8K since I got off work tonight.
Holy shit.
I am fucking ridiculously tired. I was supposed to come after the hike. I was
Hey,
supposed to come home
baby.
and get loaded.
So,
I'm not walking 8 feet, let alone 8K.
yeah, man, walking to the bathroom and then walking from my front door to the car is about it. Especially right now, because it's like 100 degrees and 90% humidity, and I got 2 words for you: boob sweat.
Yep. Boob sweat is the worst.
It is currently 27. It was 35 earlier. Let me just tell you what that is in your speak.
Imperial.
It was 80. It's 80 right now. It feels like 82.
I'd give anything for 80.
I would kill for 80.
Okay, y'all gotta remember, I'm not from the heat of the South. You guys
Yeah,
are
it
the
was
hot
94
mamas.
today. It was 94 today.
Oh, well, let me figure out what it was before the Humidex earlier.
Zero, you're not getting any fucking vodka, you bastard.
I don't know how much longer I'm gonna last. My phone keeps freezing up.
So, well, you missed it. You can go back and watch the show later, Allison,
Yes,
where we had the big in-depth discussion about PAs. And
of course.
honestly, those were really the 2 main things I wanted to discuss were PAs for authors. And so basically it's whatever the author and the PA can come to an agreement on in terms of compensation and in terms of duties. So it's not a one
I
size
think
fits all.
so, because Anne posted something about running her PA runs her numbers. And I thought, oh no, hell no, bitch. That's where I draw the line. Is when you give me math, fuck you.
Well, you know what? I could come up with a spreadsheet that had a formula where you just plug in the first 2 and it's going to figure out everything else.
Say that
I think the
again?
most important thing when it comes to having a PA or being a PA is you have to have open communication and you have to have very specific expectations. You can't go into it expecting your PA to do all of these things if the PA doesn't know they're supposed to be doing all of that.
All of
So
those
you
things.
really have to be specific and clear not only as to what you want them to do for you, but how you want it done, because, it may not necessarily be the same way.
The way you want stuff done might not be the way that the PA is used to doing it. It's just,
Right.
I've got
Well,
the
it's a learning
accounting
curve, right?
background, so so I can do a lot of the accounting stuff. It doesn't mean I want to do it,
Right.
but I
But
know
you
all
just have
the,
to be real clear.
all the little tricks so that I can get my spreadsheets to do all of the divisions and multiplications and percentages and shit like that. So, because that's called I'm lazy. I want to figure it out one time and then just do the least amount
See,
of
that's the same with
possible.
me.
I do all my numbers on a spreadsheet. It's easier.
I plug mine in, and that's it. That's what I think that's the most.
Well, then somebody
logical
needs
way.
to save Anne's PA. Somebody give Anne a spreadsheet.
Well, we'll be out there next weekend. I already told her that I was going to figure out what was wrong with her driver, and and something else. I don't know. There's like a list of shit I'm going to have to take care of when I'm out there.
Triber sucks. I hate that site. I can't get it to do shit.
What the hell is it?
I got to go and visit you and fix your shit too.
Yes, because mine.
I'll just sit in on that little tutorial.
The tutorials are great if they actually explain shit, but when the tutorial doesn't make sense.
No, I'm talking like Dina's tutorial.
Yeah, I'm not doing a tutorial. I have zero patience. I'm going to go in and fix it, and there. I don't have to explain shit. Just know it works. And if it doesn't, then you
That's
come visit
why,
me next time, and I'll fix it then. So.
See, that's why I don't use Triber, because I can't figure the damn thing out. So I quit.
Well,
I fucking
will say
hate
this.
it.
For Triber, if you have a WordPress site, it's going to work better than if you have a Blogger site.
And see, I don't have either one because WordPress limits what authors and people that are sharing books can share. So, no, I don't use
Do you have a self-hosted?
WordPress. I go through Weebly.
Well, see, now don't get me started on Wix and Weebly because I tried to help someone out with Weebly. Now look at that
Really?
fucking clusterfuck, and I'm like, nope, hands off.
See, I haven't had any problems with mine.
Well,
at
that's like
all.
Laura Hidalgo loves Wix, and
See, I like Wix.
I'm not a fan.
See, I can make my website do anything I want it to do. I sell my books from there. It deposits money right into my account from there. I don't have to mess with it. It prints all my shipping labels. It does. Yeah, I love it.
Well, you can get a lot of the same stuff through, as far as plugins for, all the different platforms.
Right.
Basically, it comes down to what you're more comfortable with.
Right.
So,
I run my
For me,
site
it's
off,
easier for,
WordPress.
like, I use a lot of Google Ads to drive traffic. So, plus I get paid, so I love Google Ads. And Weebly's really easy for using, Google AdSense and stuff like that.
So, well, oh, and some more news. Also, I am the proud owner of badassbooks.com.
Yay!
My shoe addiction has been superseded by my website addiction because I've also got buybandbooks.com that I've
I remember that.
done really nothing with yet.
We're going to talk about that while I'm down there.
Well, you need to actually come to Houston, and we need to talk to Silver Fox because he's already, said I could put it on his hosting.
Well, I'll be in
Wow.
Houston while you're in West Texas.
We need to plan this shit out better.
I know, right?
So, all right.
Unless you're back by the 3rd.
I'll be back by the 3rd. Hell, I'm just going out there, dropping him off, and turning around and coming back.
Yeah, I'm not going to New Orleans until the 3rd.
Yeah, he'll be here at the same time I am. So, and you have welcome to the travel portion of our show.
I say my
not-
next
just
trip's
coming
to
out
Oklahoma City.
I'm going to head out because my phone keeps freezing. I'm barely getting anything anybody saying. So thanks for having me,
We'll
though.
send you the link. And thank you for stepping up and impressing us with your knowledge.
Absolutely.
I don't know about knowledge, but thank you for having me anyway.
Well, you shared what you know and your point of view about it, because there's a lot of people like me that I really want a PA. I just don't know if I need a PA.
I will say, though, before I go, is that everybody just needs to be careful. There's groups out there of tons of people that say they want to be a PA, and nobody knows what they're doing, and it scares me. So just people need to be careful before they grab those people.
Right?
Yeah,
I've seen it a lot.
it's like Tiffany and I were talking about earlier. There is enough fucking flaky ass people out there, and yeah,
And some of them are your formatters.
All right,
Yeah,
I'll see you later.
You get
Thank you,
reference.
Terry.
No problem. Bye.
Peace
Bye, Terry.
out.
Bye.
So,
No, the formatter was me on my books, just for the record.
Do we want to end it at that and go ahead and do your bitches after dark?
Mm.
yeah, you want to do Bitches After Dark?
Yeah, all
I'll
right.
do Bitches After Dark.
All right. I'll send everyone the link. So, everyone, good night. Thanks for listening to Badass Pub, and we hope you learned something or gave you something to bitch about. Or it gave you something to confuse you, even more than you already were. Regardless, we're fixing to do Bitches After Dark. So, I'll see y'all shortly. Peace out.
Later.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Night.